Hello, beautiful people. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where I use the tarot to become the alchemist of our lives and to teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence. I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop y'all, man of God, it will not stop me. So guys, first of all, I want to apologize for not having as many consistent videos as I would have liked. Angel number 30, my puppy, Cuddy. You guys know I talk about him a lot on this show, on this channel. He was not feeling well. He was literally like leaking blood from his thing. And it was freaking me out. And of course, like, I don't have kids, but he's like my child. And so like my heart, my head was all fucked up. And so he's feeling a little bit better. We're not completely out the woods. So if you could send a prayer for my baby, okay? All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Good God, guardian, angels, and ancestors, what information do you deem worthy for me here at this time? Please deliver these messages to me and through me. What do you deem worthy for us to hear for our ascension, for our life path, or whatever you deem worthy for us to hear at this time? Deliver these messages to me and through me. In God's name, I pray, Ashe. All right, so let's do two cards. Two cards, please. One. We actually had three pop out. And the three cards that popped out is, okay, obedience at the top. This message is all about obedience. Angel number 135. We see here, we have an angel that is kind of like on a bike, and we see a light of red go. And so right away, the message I get is, it says obedience, but it makes me think about discernment and make sure that you are actually doing the things that you're supposed to do. With this stop, red, and go, it's like, I feel like God is saying, take the time to actually think about the things that you're doing. Angel number 202, making sure that it's actually in alignment with your goals and who you're trying to be. After obedience, what we have right under this is spontaneity. We know that spontaneity is all about things just happening randomly, because you are in a groove, you're in a flow. And so what I'm kind of getting is that if you're being obedient, you're going with the flow of life, and then whatever you're looking for, some education, a mentor, that next nugget to help you on your journey, it will come to you, because right underneath this is we have education. We have this angel sitting here, and it looks like it's at a classroom, and it is teaching, people. And so what I get is, honestly, very quickly, and this may be for maybe one or two people, I do feel like God is saying that you should be obedient and like actually seek that extra education that you're looking for. So say, for example, I was really into, that just reminded me, I need to put that on my board. I was really into learning about my birth chart, and I wanted to know more about astrology. And if you follow certain creators on here, they do have classes and workshops that you can attend. And so I did this workshop about, it was like birth chart. It was like astrology 101. And it pretty much broke down your birth chart, like the things to look for. I frequently go back to this deck. But that's the that's the vibe that I'm getting. God is saying that if there's something that you want to do, like instead of sitting back and trying to weigh the pros and cons and trying to figure out, well, how is this going to work out? Is this on my path? God is saying, trust that information on the inside. And if you get that prompt to be like, this is something I should do, then just go with it, go with the flow, and don't worry about what's going to happen in the long run. I'm actually going to go into our tarot cards with Miss Cleo to just get a little bit more information about what this message could be about. Angel number 358. All right, dear God, guardian, angel, and ancestors, clarify this message of obedience, spontaneity, education. What do you want us to know about being obedient to the calling that you have on our life? Why is it so important for us to be spontaneous? And what is this message of education about? Please tell us our energy, any potential roadblocks, guidance, insight. Please allow us to hear what we need to hear. In God's name I pray, Ashe. So let's see what they want us to know. This message of obedience. Okay. So underneath this is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, as you can see, is literally in other decks. They actually show this knight on a horse, show him like traveling through the desert. In this deck, we have a knight kind of taking that pause to, it kind of feels like he's taking a pause on his journey to kind of like celebrate how far he has come. We see that he's still in the desert. There's a desert background around there. We see the flow of water, so that lets me know that he is in touch with his emotion, but he's not in his emotions, because you see his foot is just on the outside of it. It's grounded on land, and then he's kind of lifting his cup as if to be like, "Thank you, God," or like as in praise of being like, let me take a sip of water, or let me take a sip of water because I've been on a long journey. This is the energy underneath this. But the energy that is affecting this is the Knight of Coins. The Knight of Coins is, as you can see, it looks as though this person, again, it kind of looks like the same person, except that they have like different hair wraps. This person has a red, letting me know that he's grounded. He's with a yellow shield, with a beetle on here. Beetle speaks about prosperity and wealth. Yellow speaks about the solar plex. And so this lets me know that this person is grounded in his power, and because he's grounded in his power, then he's grounded in his power, and actually he's stepping on a step. He's stepping on a snake. Angel number 616. So it's like he's stepping on temptation. He had to step on temptation in order to get this coin, in order to get this gift from this person, because we see that this person that's out of frame gifting this person this pinnacle, and he's looking at it like, oh yeah, like this is amazing. How do I feel about it? And with this coming under obedience, this is what God is saying, that if you trust your journey, if you just follow your path, you trust that insight, that information, you step over any type of temptation and just stay focused and grounded. Do not become overwhelmed in your emotions, because again, we see the water here, but again, that person is not in the water. He's over the water. He's in his emotion. He's stepping on the snake. So which means he's stepping on any of those sinister activities, any of those lower, those sneaky people, just temptation. It's like he's stepping on temptation in order to get where he actually wants to be, which is to get this gift that he desires. And so God is saying that if you are obedient on your journey, if you actually just trust the information, trust your emotions, not get lost in your emotions, but use your emotions to push you forward, then you can ultimately get that gift or that insight that you're looking for, right? But I feel like what God is saying is that what's kind of stopping you is because we have this Two of Staff under Spontaneity. And so it's like you're at this crossroads where you're kind of like, it's like, you know how your life has been, but you have this opportunity. You feel this inkling of how your life could be. And so what God is saying is that because you are at this crossroads, instead of just staying at this crossroads and just being like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, we have to know that indecision is making a decision. It's making a decision to just throw it up in the air and just get whatever the universe can give to you, which is not a decision. But if you make this decision to be like, I'm going to trust this information, I'm going to be obedient, I'm going to trust the insight that I have, because I know that I've done all this work. I know that I've been on this journey for a long time. It may have not happened how I wanted to happen, but I'm going to trust that if I just continue to go on that path of becoming who I want to be, stepping on all of those temptations, turning away from my old life, then I can get the blessing that is looking for me. I can get that education. I can get that wisdom that I'm looking for. But I feel like the reason, that's what it is. I feel like for some of you guys, you're looking for the next step, or you're looking for all of the information to help you on your journey. And we know that God is not going to give you the whole book. You have to actually go through the steps. You actually have to have faith. A part of having faith is not knowing, is not having all the information. You feel like, oh, this could happen, but you don't know. And I will be honest, that was a big thing with me, is because I wanted to know. And when I made up my mind, it was like, that's the thing. And then it was like the minute that I had any information that contradicted it, it made me feel some type of way. But what God is saying is that the thing about life is not to be set in your mind, set in your ways, set in being like, this is how things should be done. You have to be fluid. You have to be able to go with the flow. You have to be able to be like, okay, I know that this is my end goal. I know this is what I want, but this beautiful, amazing opportunity is coming to me that also excites me, that also makes me feel good. Okay, so I'm going to step off and go this way. And you have to know that the road to your path is not linear. It may be twists and turns. And what God is saying is that as long as you trust your heart, as long as you allow your emotions to lead and not get grounded in your emotions or overwhelmed in your emotions, then you will get the information, the education, the insight that you're looking for. But the reason why you're not getting that, look at this. We had the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups come out reverse. All of this, we have the Knight. We have two Knights come out. We have the Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Two of Coin. Okay, so I guess it's a little bit of everything here. I was about to say. I do this all the time. Engine number 1037. So it's engine number 1037. So it's a lot of stuff on here. But anyway, so we have the Two of Cups come out reverse. Two of Cups upright is all about this person, as we see again with the water. It's like the water is there, but we're not in the water. And so this person is by the water. He's kneeling. We see he has his red, it's a red set, like it's kind of like a whip thing that's right besides him. And it looks like to me that he took that cup, which means he took his passion, he took his desire, he dipped it in the water, and then he was gifted with this unexpected blessing. Because every time I see the Page of Cup, there's literally a fish coming out the cup. And we can say that he stuck the cup in the water and he thought that he was just going to get a drink of water. And what came out is a cup, which means that you're getting blessings in unexpected places. Or it could mean that this fish just magically came into this cup. Because as you see, it's like this look of contentment on his face. He's not surprised. The fish looked like it's looking at him. Right? But this came out reverse, and it came out reverse under education, because I feel like what God is saying is because you're not obedient, because you're really not trusting that insight, you're not making that proper decision, you can't get the insight, you can't get the information. And for me, what I really feel like, it's like you're so mentally, it's a mental thing for you. It has to make sense for you in order for you to actually act on it. But what God is saying is that in the spiritual world, it's not going to make sense until it makes sense. You're not going to know until you know. And that's just what it is. That's the duality of the spiritual community. You know, but you don't know. You have to be comfortable of being in that place. And what God is saying is that the reason why you're not getting these blessings, the reason why you're not getting the next step, the reason why you're not feeling confident on this journey is because you're not being obedient to the information that you're getting on the inside. I honestly feel like, because all of these cards has water. Literally every card that's down on here has water. And nobody in this card, and none of these people in this card is actually in the water, but they're on the brink of the water. They're grounded in land. They're on land looking at the water, or they're on land, celebrating over the water. And so what it's saying is that these persons are in touch with their emotions, but they're not drowning in their emotions. And I feel like for you, angel number 1250, is that you are so in your emotions, you're so in your mind that you can't even get the insight and the information that God is trying to give to you. Okay, so how can we get this information? How can we get this guidance? We're going to go ahead and go into our money and law of attraction deck to just get some tools to help us with this. Dear God, clarify this message of obedience, spontaneity, education, along with the Knight of Coins, the Two of Staves, the Page of Cups reverse, and the Knight of Cups. What are you trying to get us to understand about being obedient to being obedient to the insights and the guidance that are coming to you? Last week, I actually did a spiritual reading with the chief. He's from here, but he's done a lot of work in Africa. And he did the read. I forgot what it's called. But it was like the reading with like the shells. And like at one point he was shuffling the shells and he showed me the shells, and it was about like 20, 30 shells. And like every single shell was flipped over except for one. And he stopped, and I felt it. Angel number 1401. I was looking at it like, damn, like what does that mean? Like, I felt something when I saw that. Of course, I can't read it because I'm not familiar with that, that form of divination. But he was like, look at all of these blessings. Look at all of your blessings. These are all the blessings that are meant to you. That are assigned for you. But what's stopping you from even getting your blessings is the fear. And mind you, I'm somebody who feels like, oh, I follow my insight. I do this, I do that. I'm on my path. And he said something. He said, "You have such great ideas." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I know. I write them down." And he was like, "Don't just write them down." Angel number 1444. Don't just write them down. God's not giving you these ideas for you to be like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to write it down." He's like, these ideas are actually insight to help you on your journey. And I realized that he's right. If I go look on here, there's so many different things that I know that I want to do with Honestly Sister. I know that I want to do with this YouTube channel. And there is this part of me, because of my background, because of you know, what I had to deal with in the past, that I don't, it's like, I didn't realize this until after I left him, but it's like, there's a part of me that's like, I've been rejected from my old life. You know, I had all these people. I was attached to all of these people. And then all of these people just, the minute that I decided to choose me and to follow my path, everybody that I used to fuck with stopped fucking with me. Everybody that I thought was my family stopped fucking with me. And so it's like, I have been dealing with that betrayal. I have been dealing with that hurt. And I thought that I was dealing with it by trying to overcome it, you know, just get lost in my world. But I realized that the hurt and the betrayal is stopping me from really, you know, allowing myself to be seen. Because even though there's a bigger part of me who believes in this, who loves this, who knows that this is the right thing to do, there's a smaller part of me that's like, already been hurt, already been, you know, ostracized, like, people who know me don't support me. How can I expect that all of these strangers, these people that I don't even know, are going to come out of the blue and just support me? I also realized, Angel number 1626, if I'm being completely transparent, is that I was subconsciously calling myself a loser because I didn't have friends, because all of these people turned their back on me. But I had to realize, like, it's not like you never had friends, you know, like, it's not like you never had friends. It's not like you never been connected to a community. You left your old life. And a part of leaving that old life is leaving that support, is leaving that comfort zone and going out into the unknown, going out into the desert and trying to build something new. And so, yeah, it hurts when, you know, I have this beautiful opportunity. I have this beautiful, you know, opportunity with this yoga studio, Angel number 1711. But then it's like, I feel like I'm not utilizing it because I'm like, my community is not supporting me. The people that I thought, you know, even my Honestly Sis family, like they, you know, they haven't came out. And it's like, it's really mentally fucking me up because I feel like, well, why is God putting me in these positions to fail? And it's like, it's not that God is putting you in positions to fail. It's just that you have to completely release your old life so that you can embrace this new one. And so a part of that is being like, yeah, I know I've been betrayed before. I know I've had these people turn their back on me, but I have to trust that the reason that happened is because I wasn't being true to myself. The reason how I even got into those environments was because I was lying to myself and I was belittling myself and I was shrinking myself. And I also have to remind myself that this was a choice that I made. And so now moving forward is I'm just trying to be as obedient as possible. I'm just trying to override fear, override my own insecurities, and really step into this place of who I am meant to be. Because I do believe in it. I do believe that I can help the world. But I realize I have to die to that fear. I have to die to being like, oh, what's going to happen? You know, like I still have this part of me that's just like, I still want to know. Like there's a mental part of me that wants to know. But again, you're not going to know until you know. That is the journey. That is the gig of being a spiritual being. Okay. So I hope that random tangent helps somebody. All right, God. Final shuffle. Knight of Coins, Two of Staves, Page of Cups reverse, Knight of Cups. God, what do you want us to know about overcoming fear, overcoming our temptations, and being obedient to the calling that you have in our life so that we can get the blessings that are meant for us? God, allow no room for doubt or confusion. Give us a tool that we can use to be obedient or just to clarify what you're trying to get us to understand in this message. In God's name I pray, Ashe. Like, I'm really just about to just step it up and just be like, fuck it. I'm going to be who the fuck I want to be no matter what. Yeah, because right underneath this is I want to harmonize with my desires. This is what God is trying to tell us. This is the ability we have as spiritual beings. Anytime you feel a negative emotion, stop and say something is important here. Otherwise, I would not be feeling a negative emotion. What is it that it wants? What is it that I want? And then simply turn your attention to what you do want. This is the process of pivoting. So this is what God is saying, is that as you are on your journey, the power that we have as spiritual beings is that we can harmonize with our desires. The problem why we're not getting what we want is number 2002, and I'm going to go get those cards, is that we have a complicated relationship with our heart. Us as Black people, we've been taught that we can't have our desires, or that we have to settle for second best. And what God is saying, no, you don't. That's a lie. That's why you even feel this anxiety. That's why you even feel this disconnect, because you want something, but you're telling yourself that you can't have it. Why? You can have it if you were just willing to step on that snake, willing to step on them temptations, willing to die to your old life. You could have everything that you want. But it's the stories that you're telling yourself, right? You're not getting it because you're telling yourself, I can't have it. Why can't you? You're not even trusting this information. You're not even trusting that. That's what it is. God is giving you insight. God is giving you information. God is telling you the steps to take, but you're not being obedient. You're not trusting it. And that's why when you get here, you can't get the blessing, because you're not really trusting it. But this is the cycle. The cycle is you go on your journey, you celebrate yourself. Whenever you feel a negative emotion, you stop and ask yourself, well, why am I feeling this negative emotion? What is it that I actually want? You turn your attention to it, raise your cup up. You continue to be obedient, follow your journey. Then God will gift you with it. He will gift you with what you want. And then whenever you find yourself at this place where you're like, I don't know which way to go, you always go on the path of your desires. But the problem is that when you get a standstill, what you do is you just focus on it, or you don't make a decision at all. And then you can't get the blessing that is truly meant for you. Let's go and just look at these cards that also came out. Actually, underneath this, it says, I can give my attention to the positive aspects. So again, I think it's something about your mentality. And it's something about, yeah, I always was saying it was your mind. It's a block. Your mind and your heart is not on the same page. It's a disconnect. For the Knight of Coins with obedience, I want to harmonize with what I believe is good. Harmonize. These came back out. Let's read this. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to do and have and live in a way that is in harmony with my idea of the greatest goodness. I want to harmonize physically here in this body with that which I believe to be the best or a good way of life. If you will make those statements and then do not take action unless you feel good, you will always be moving in harmony with your idea of that which is good. So again, let's say this again. If you will make statements like that. So remember, I always say the way that you bring about true change is first in the thoughts you think, the words you speak, and then the actions you take, right? If you will only make statements and then do not take an action unless it's feel good. Right? If you make statements, I want to be the best that I can be. I want to do and have and live in a way that is in harmony with my greatest goodness. If you say statements like that, you think I'm going to harmonize with what is good, and then you only take action in the idea of what you feel is good, then you will get what is good. Let's say it again. If you will make those statements and then do not take action unless you feel good, you will always be moving in harmony with your idea of that which is good. That's the obedience. A lot of us are always, especially in the Black community, the Black church fucked us up, because it's like, you got to be obedient to God. You got to do this. You got to do that. And we've been taught so much fucked up shit, is that we feel that disconnect, right? We feel like, let me give you an example of this, because I don't want to speak in high terms. When I was in a church, when I was growing up, I went to a church, probably about around the age of maybe 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there, high school. My mom randomly woke up one day and was like, we a church going family. I have a whole article. I don't think it's honestly, it's not, I don't think it's accessible to you guys in the archive anymore, but I wrote about this on Honestly Sis. And so my mom decided, we always jumped in and out of the church, for most of our life. But this particular time, one Christmas, my mom only bought us church clothes, church Bibles, because she decided that we were just going to be a church family. And so we got into church, and, I was feeling the church. I was feeling the church, because I've always had a connection to God since I was a little bitty girl. So it's like, I would love church. I would go there. But what I didn't like the end of days talk. I didn't like all of the restrictions. And then I didn't like the division, you know, kids church, grown people church. And then I didn't like that I wasn't supposed to be listening to hip hop. Right away, I felt this big disconnect because I'm just like, this don't make sense to me. I remember I was like, how could me listening to Jay-Z be evil? How could Jay-Z be evil? And I used to always just be like, oh my God, I just feel like if God was just listening to Jay-Z, he would love hip hop, right? And so I used to, and then, you know, you keep living your life and, you know, I started having sex and it was like, I felt guilty about it. So it was like, the church breeds all of this guilt in us. But the truth is, God don't give a fuck. God don't care who we listen to. God don't care who we have sex with. He is not thinking about that. Those are all rules and beliefs that the church put on us to keep us women under control and blacks under control, right? And so, when I say to be obedient, it's not you being obedient to these unknown rules. It's not you being obedient to, you know, society rules and what the church say. You're being obedient to yourself. And by you being obedient to yourself is you harmonizing with what you believe is good. Because what I believe is good is that Jay-Z is a prophet. Jay-Z is, you know, what, you know, like, and I get it because he's so big that people don't like hearing shit like that. But I have to just go on how I feel. I literally, I remember the first time I ever heard a Jay-Z song, my stepdad introduced me to him. It wasn't the Black album. It was the Dynasty album. And it was Change the Game. And me and him, we was just in the car and we was just rocking. And from that moment forward, I have always been a Jay-Z fan. I have always listened to his albums. Always, like, he's just been a part of my journey. I can't explain it. I can't understand it. But it was just something in my soul that told me, trust this man, follow this man, listen to this man. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that he's actually helped me grow spiritually, mentally. Now, you know, you can say, oh, yeah, whatever, you know, you've been brainwashed, but that's how I feel. The same would be. I remember I can tell you the first time I've ever heard Destiny Child, first time I ever heard Beyonce sing a song, I was in the car with my auntie, if you in Detroit, I was on Michigan, leaving that Target from over there on Michigan and Greenfield. We was driving on the streets and we was listening to, Say My Name. Again, have no idea why I felt the way that I felt, but I just followed it. And now let me take you back because I didn't even mean to go here, but remember the common thing is I felt something and I stayed with it and I attached to it. And through my love of Beyonce, through my love of Jay, I have made so many friends. I have, you know, went places, done things, you know, connected with people, had really good moments because of my love of these people, right? Because of our shared bond. Same thing. When I was lost, when I was at my job, angel number 28, and I didn't know what to do, when I was trying my best to write a book and nothing would come to me, when Whitney Houston died, I felt that feeling and I followed it again. And so I don't know how your God and how your people communicate with you, but I know that when I feel a feeling, I know that that's divine insight telling me this is for you. This is for you. And I'm obedient to that. And so that's what God is saying. I'm not asking, when I tell you to be obedient, I'm not asking you to be obedient to these spiritual laws. I'm not asking you to be obedient to, you know, the church, or be obedient to yourself. Be obedient to your heart. Be obedient to the desires that you feel, because those desires are ultimately going to take you where you want to go. And that's the same thing that my spiritual advisor was telling me. He like, you have all of these great insights. And I know it because I felt it and I understood it and I was able to connect the dots. But then I'll get excited about it and then I just be like, but who gonna do this and who gonna come? And I done got these flyers made and they just been in my car. I think I passed out 3 flyers. I got over 50 made because I'm in my head about it. But it's like, I have to trust that if God told me get these flyers made, pass out the flyers, just pass out the goddamn flyers, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who the person that's going to see the flyer, that's going to give it to the person, that's going to send it to the other person, that's going to bring you 10, 15 people to your class. That's why you just got to trust whatever God's saying. But if you do it and then you stop yourself, how can you ever get the blessing? You can't. And this is what God is saying. If you're not obedient to the feelings, if you don't follow through with action on the inside, how can God change your life? And this is why you guys don't trust God. And the reason is, it's not that you don't trust God. You don't trust your goddamn self. A lot of people hate God. A lot of people are mad at God. But the reason is they really should be mad at themselves, because God has been sending you ideas. He has been sending you insights, and you've been ignoring it. And you've been just at this standstill, not doing a goddamn thing. Focusing on all the bad instead of focusing on the life that you could have. The card that came out for this is my intention to it, invites the essence of it. You're looking at the bad. Of course, all you're going to do is get bad. Last card that came out, I can't tell shortages of abundance. I can't tell stories of shortages and experience abundance. Again, contradicting your damn self. You're looking at the bad. You're telling yourself, oh, I don't have money to do that workshop. Oh, I don't have money to have that type of experience. Oh, I don't have, why don't, you're literally blocking yourself in. You're literally stopping yourself from getting the blessing because of the stories that you're telling yourself. And I said that before we even got there. You are the God. You are the one who's going to dictate and determine how far you're going to go in this life. And if you're not even going to trust the insights and the ideas that you have for yourself, how the fuck can you trust a spiritual being that you can't even see? It don't work. Angel number 3111. And so I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here. My intention to unwanted attracts more unwanted. It's on you. You have to make a mental decision that I'm going to be obedient to my dreams. And anything that takes me off the path of my dreams is not for me. That's the obedience you need to have. Be obedient to yourself. Be obedient to your desires. And stop fucking talking about how God not helping you and what God not doing if you're not going to do shit. If you're not going to try, then let me tell you, last story. Literally, I told you guys this. I got my yoga class because I went to a healing circle. I got the invitation for the healing circle that day. When I tell y'all, I'm the type of person that if you say anything last minute to me, I'm not going. Like I'm sorry, but there's a part of me, and I think that this is my Virgo, my Virgo South node, where it's like, if I have my days structured, I have my days planned at least 2 days in advance. I know what I'm doing this weekend. I know what I'm doing Sunday. And so if you send me a message on Sunday, like, hey, Am, come over here. I'm cooking dinner. No, I'm not. I'm busy. I have something to do. Because 9 times out of 10, I do. I'm going, this Sunday is my shopping day, or I'm doing this. Like, I have a schedule. And so she sent that invitation on a Friday. I think I got it at like maybe 3 o'clock. And literally the thing was at 6 or 7. And there was just something. It was so quiet. It was so quick. And it was just like, you got to go. And I was like, I'm going to go. I didn't think about it. I didn't think twice. I just went. It was on a Friday night. I just went. And I went. I was obedient to the information. I went. I shared. We were in the circle. I had no intentions on being super deep. End up being super deep. The owner of the studio was super deep. I knew that I wanted to talk to her again. I felt that feeling. Tell her how helpful she's been on your journey. Let her know how important you are to her. Went to her, had that conversation. She was like, oh, I was going to come talk to you because she had something she wanted to say to me. So we were both obedient, and that led to the unexpected blessing of my own yoga studio, of my own yoga class. And eventually I'm going to have my own yoga studio. And so this is what I'm saying. This is the process. You get a feeling. It's a random, spontaneous feeling. You trust the feeling. You follow the feeling, and it leads you to the blessing. And then you're educated on how to work. This is the education. You're educated on how the universe works, how to work with your spirit guides. But again, if you don't ever take that information and actually follow through with it, how could you ever get that education? How could you ever get that insight? How can the blessing ever come out of nowhere? It won't. Right? I'm gonna stop. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Clarify this message is obedience. Final message: obedience, spontaneity, education. The Knight of Coins, the Two of Staff, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups. God, what do you want us to get to know about harmonizing with what is good? My attention to it invites the essence of it. I can't tell stories of shortages and experience abundance. I want to harmonize with my desires. I give my attention to positive aspects. My attraction to more unwanted attracts more unwanted. God, what do you want us to know? Give us one final message to wrap this on up in a bow, allowing no room for doubt or confusion. What do you want my viewers to know about being obedient to their desires, being obedient to the insight in their lives, the wanderer? This is our final message, the wanderer. Your spirit is free to choose. Talk about obedience. Wanderer, you love freedom, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. On the waking path, you are able to move freely with all that you desire in life. You are not afraid. You are an adventurer, one who rarely feels stuck. Your movement is physical, mental, and spiritual. Your freedom keeps you from being ruled by attachment and affords you an opportunity to discover new things. You love the unknown. You enjoy the random selections of the universe. You wait to be found rather than waste time seeking out things and people. You allow faith and spirit to do the work in life. You are led by spirit and not held by material possessions or held back by money. You do not wait for what others can give you in order to have what you need in life. You are not one to emotionally possess anything or anyone so that you can sustain your sense of spiritual freedom. This doesn't mean you are not in relationship with others, but such relationships are fluid and free from your ownership. This doesn't mean you are not in relationship with others, but such relationships are fluid and free from your ownership, helping others to feel the same freedom as you. On the waking path, you feel completely free to do what you want in your life, yet remain aware of those you love. Your free spirit is admired. On the sleeping path, your freedom can loom so large that you lose your way in life. You can run aimlessly and appear irresponsible. Your intentions to have no possessions or attachment can render a life without connections to others. Those who love you begin to apply pressure on you to join the goal-oriented, high-achieving world or to make some kind of connection to the material world. You resist changing your path of freedom to one of resistance and neglect. Your free will can be lost inside of your defensiveness. Are you running away, or do you have clear vision of a liberated life? Can you stand by the liberation within you rather than try to manufacture it by ignoring family and friends? Watch to see if, as a wanderer, your sense of freedom may be a smokescreen to avoid failure, disappointments, or to hold onto some delusion of freedom. In the past, you may have experienced falling short of your dream or having to defer them altogether, or the doors were once closed to you. There is freedom in revisiting those dreams. There is freedom in creating a new meaning of freedom, one that is not about running away from captivity, but a meaning of freedom that speaks to possibilities or choices. There is freedom in creating a new meaning of freedom, one that is not about running from captivity, but a meaning of freedom that speaks to possibilities or choices. Moving by spirit requires a dream or vision. It also requires that you do not give up and truly believe that spirit will move you in the direction you want to go. Trust that your prayers are being answered, though it may not look like it for the time being. You are a courageous one. Your sense of freedom gives you a rare and beautiful way to walk through life. Ashe. Angel number 3828. And I'm just going to leave the message there. This message talked all about freedom, as we had so much of this person. It looked like this multiple person just roaming in the deserts and the mindsets. And it talked about how sometimes you can avoid, so it says on the waking path, you're a free spirit, you're brave, and on the sleeping path, you're lost and neglected. And so I feel like, and the crazy thing is we literally have this here. And so I feel like this message is all about you deciding, you can be a wanderer and you can be a free spirit and just freely trust the visions of God and trust the insight that God have on your life. Or you can be wondering and you could be lost and you could be like, fuck all that and I don't believe in it, and you will never get the blessings that are meant for you. But the choice is up on you. The choice is yours. So what you gonna do? All right, y'all. That is the end of the reading. That's all the message I have for you. If you made it to the end of this meeting, in the end of this reading, please give me a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. My books are back open and ready for booking. So if you are interested in booking a reading with me or getting just a little bit more insight on your journey, all of that information is down below. I'll see you soon.